Hey guys, what's up? This is Jevany. I am laying here on the edge of the bed in my room, pumping out these videos, just trying to get some out just while the house is empty. So I wanted to come on, and I have been getting questions about what exactly are the things, and if I'm looking over to the side is because I wrote notes just so I have a list of the things so I didn't forget anything. But I had gotten a question or a bunch of questions about what things would you need in order to get a commercial loan and or to pull equity out of your place if you already own a place. So I'm going to go through the list of all of the things that you need, and some of these things you might not need. It depends on maybe how much money you're trying to get. I think if you're getting maybe like beyond 750 in the millions, then but I'll address those things that I need it, but you personally probably would not need if you are getting a commercial loan because your property may not need that. So the first thing that you're definitely gonna need is you're gonna need valid ID, of course. You're gonna need most of the time two forms of ID. So you'll need a driver's license, a passport, whatever. Of course, you're gonna need to complete the commercial loan application. That's the first thing you're gonna have to do. In completing that comes with a series of other things that you're gonna need to complete. So you're also gonna need to complete a corporate profile for each entity. 3 different businesses. You're gonna have to complete a corporate profile for each one of those 3 businesses. Show your rent rolls for those 3 businesses. That's a part of the profile. How much rents you're collecting, who are the tenants, provide the leases, all of those things you're going to have to give the bank. And then you're going to have to do a client profile. So the client profile will be for you and whoever your partner is. If you have a partner, if it's just you, then it's only you. That's going to be information about you all. So your profile, where your income comes from, if it comes from all of the properties, if just everything about you. That's what's going to be on the client profile. You're going to have your most recent 2 years tax returns, which more than likely, if you're getting a K1 or something, if it's you and a partner, your K1 is going to be included in that tax return, showing the breakdown that you all own the company 50-50, or if you got a bunch of partners, 20-20-20, 20-20, whatever adds up to that. So whatever your percentage is of the property. You're going to have a schedule of real estate and what value. And then on that schedule, like on the schedule of real estate goes all of the properties you own, the percentage that you own in that property. So 100%, 50%, 20%, whatever the breakdown is, and what you think that property is worth and the address of the property. So all of that is going to be on a schedule of real estate. You're also going to provide your personal financial statement, which is basically just going to tell them what your net worth is. So it's going to have all your assets on one side, all your liabilities on the other side. It's going to ask you to kind of explain, like any loans that you might have, if you personally have any loans or lines of credit, and just things like that. So it's just going to be basically something that gives them your net worth in the end. After you fill out your personal financial statement, it's basically just going to tell them what your overall net worth. Your net worth is 3.3 million or negative 300,000. Hold on one second. Okay, yeah, so I'm back. All right, so I think I was talking about your personal financial statement, which is basically just going to tell them what your net worth is. So that'll be that on that. Then you have to show proof of liquidity. So let's say on your net worth statement, let's say it said you had $200,000 in your Vanguard account, $100,000 in your Fidelity account, whatever the case may be. You just have to show proof of that liquidity and give them proof of those statements, your last month statements, and things like that. I mean, you're going to have to give them bank statements anyway from your other banks and different things like that. So it's just proof of liquidity. All of that will be under proof of liquidity. All of your statements from all of your different accounts. Okay. Um, I'm gonna skip the environmental compliance and indemnity agreement. That's for if you have bigger properties. So if you have apartment complexes and things like that, you're going to have to um, definitely do that. But I'm just gonna just bypass that. Guarantee of payment and performance. If they're requiring that you have to personally guarantee the loan, so even though the properties are applying for the loan, so let's say you have ABC property and XYZ property, or whatever the case may be, and you're pulling equity out of those properties are applying for the loan, but you're going to personally guarantee those loans. So if they require you personally guarantee them, because you may not have to personally guarantee. It just really depends on a lot of factors, your financial standing, the property, it just depends on a bunch of things. So you may or may not have to do the guarantee of payment and performance. I mean, that's just, I don't know. It just is what it is. It just depends. Um, the loan department may have questions. So there may be some missing rent payments, or there may be some 10 months where half of your complex wasn't rented, or there may be some questionable stuff on your credit, or it could be anything. They're going to ask a series of questions, and then that's something that you're going to have to get back to them with the answers and any backup documentation that you may have regarding those answers. So that's something else. And the majority of these things, in terms of the questions and answers, at that point they probably already know that they want to give you the loan and want to do business with you, but they're just asking you these questions as a safeguard, or just to have them in the record. So the personal guarantee, if they're making you do that, or that's something that's going to come at a point when you already know you're approved for the loan. Just like once they start surveying the property and doing appraisals and requiring that you get insurance, because, like, for example, a property that we have, Charles and I, it didn't have insurance because we owned them outright. But then we decided to pull some of the equity out, and so we had to get insurance. So then that's just something required at closing. They're going to just require at closing that you show you have proof of insurance. So that's the way that's going to work. But those are things that you already know that you're pretty much you're approved for the loan already. And so they're telling you, hey, make sure that when we come to the closing table, you have proof of insurance at that point. So, as of right now, let me look at my list and make sure. Yeah, I think that's pretty much, that's the main meat and potatoes. They may ask you for something else just randomly, and depending on what bank you're talking about, or if you're not talking about a commercial bank, if you're talking about just a regular bank, I don't know. It just depends, but I would say that those things a commercial bank will probably definitely require and ask you for, and just be ready to kind of have all of those things. If you're pulling money out of a property, make sure your rent rolls are on point. You have copies of all your leases. Make sure you have valid leases, because a lot of times as landlords, we will let our lease lapse and let the tenant go month to month. They're going to require that you get everybody on a current lease, not be month to month. So just make sure when you go to the bank that you have everybody on a current lease that's valid for that 12-month period that you're in. So it hasn't lapsed yet, or if it has lapsed, you've actually signed a new lease agreement with them. So if there's anything else I can think of, or if you have any questions, you can ask me down below. Rate, comment, subscribe. I hope this video has been helpful. And yeah, so those are the things that you'll most likely need when trying to secure a commercial loan for a real estate property. All right, I'll talk to you all later. Bye.